Kathleen, and I'm interviewing Renee Deiaco from the North Carroll Senior and Community Center. Renee, when and where were you born?
I was born in Baltimore in 1953,
Okay.
and I grew up in Baltimore County. We moved here in 1986, so that's about 24 years ago.
24 years ago. And so you grew up in Baltimore mostly?
Well, Baltimore County, and of course we were surrounded by a lot of open land at that time, so I really appreciated the feel of the open country and having some room. So that appealed to me very much when we moved to Carroll County, and at that point it was very affordable, which was certainly another part of our decision to move into the area.
Okay, cool. So how old were you when you actually moved to Carroll County?
Oh, now I have to do math. It was like late 20s.
Oh, okay, okay. And what exactly brought you to the county? Just the open spaces, or was it like a job change?
My husband had gotten a job in Hunt Valley, and we were looking at a reasonable commuting distance, and we had some ideas of what kind of house we wanted, something that was, small enough that we could afford, but that had enough bedrooms for the 3 children that we had. And of course, at that time, kids shared bedrooms, and that was all right too. And we just found this wonderful little house that was in our price range. And I just really loved the area. I've always wanted to live in the country and spent as much time outdoors as a child as I could, so it was a good fit.
And where in Carroll County did you move when you initially came here?
Okay, we live between Hampstead and Westminster, so it's off the Coon Club Road area.
Okay.
And so we're kind of in between towns, but we're about 10 minutes from each, either Hampstead or from Westminster.
Okay, cool. And so you've been in the county for a little while. Have you seen any changes within the county, like notable changes that come to mind?
Well, development, of course. The town mall, when we moved up here, was a big selling point, although it really didn't make a lot of difference to me. So that had just been built. And, the agricultural land is disappearing and being replaced by houses, and, just in this short 24-year period, that's just an incredible change. I sometimes drive along Coon Club Road and count the new houses that really aren't in developments per se that have been built since we've been here in that time. So that's just the biggest obvious change for us. But what I have to say is when I moved up here, I was so impressed by how friendly everybody was. People held the door for you at the store and said thank you, and that's changed a little bit, but still, if you head down towards Baltimore or any metropolitan area, it changes very quickly back to people who don't make eye contact and are not nearly as warm and friendly as people in Carroll County.
Okay, yeah, so there's still that sort of difference between the two counties, I guess.
I think so, definitely.
And obviously you've been the director for the Senior Center how long now?
I've been manager for over 11 years.
Okay, and how have the changes that you've seen in the county, have you seen them in the center as well?
Yes, of course. We've grown tremendously in 11 years. And when I first started, a lot of the folks were from farming backgrounds that came to the Senior Center. They had lived in the county all their lives, and they've been part of a generation of farmers. So that was a lot of fun for me to get to know people from a very different background than I was from. And that has changed because a lot of people have moved out to be in, number one, a safe area like Carroll County, or to follow their families who moved here to raise children in a great environment.
Okay, so the backgrounds of people have changed a little bit.
Yes, yes.
Now, would you say that, what would the majority of backgrounds be like, just in the group that you have now? Are they pretty diverse?
I have so many different kinds of people. We still have people who grew up on farms and actually still live on farms that have been in their family for generations. And we have people who are from more of the city type, where they're very into the cultural aspects of what they had in the city. And they're bringing that out here, which is really fun. We have one gal who runs our drama club who's very active in the Vagabond Players in Baltimore and has been doing community theater most of her life. And she's brought her talents, and now she shares them with the seniors out here. And it's really great to be able to work with people who bring their talents, regardless of their background, into the center to share with each other.
Okay, cool. Now I understand you brought a few things just regarding the history of the center. So you can just start off with,
okay,
you know, wherever you want to start with the history,
well,
and go from there.
Okay. I went back through some notes, and this was well before my time because the Senior Center started in 1983 at St. John's Church in Hampstead. And I did find a couple small pictures that they took, and it was based around an eating together so that people could have a good, nutritious meal and enjoy each other's company. So it was a very social program as well. And that started with 28 people, and the date I had for that was July 5th, 1983.
Oh, okay.
And the folks, you know, enjoyed that. They had parties, special events, they took trips, and they outgrew the church. So by 1989, there was a new center built at 2225 Hanover Pike underneath the North Carroll Library. And it was a shared building, and the Senior Center had the basement floor of that. And we quickly outgrew that. Well, maybe not quickly, but 2006 was the last time that we were in that building. And kind of interesting, I went back just to see some attendance statistics. Under the library, the square footage was under 7,000 square feet, which was a big improvement over the church basement. But the attendance when I started was in 1998, 9,153 people. I started doing statistics because I thought, this is kind of interesting. Let's see how we're growing. 17 years later, in 2005, taking that whole calendar year, our attendance had grown to 15,584 people that had attended during the year that we had counted. And of course, that's always low because a lot of people don't want to be counted and they don't sign in or, you know, do that. But I thought, wow, that's pretty incredible. That's a growth of over 6,000 people a year. So with that, we had definitely outgrown the center. The parking was very, very small for what we had in our population. So that was a big negative to the center. And we were moving furniture to accommodate all the classes. Our parties we would have to hold up at the Manchester Activities Building like for Christmas. So it was really a place that we could see and the county could see we had outgrown. When I first started, there was a painting class and a ceramics class. The line dance teacher had quit. The exercise teacher wasn't going to teach anymore. So I built back up, so getting new programs and you know, involving people. And we just had so many things going on. We had pool playing, free bread, and a quilt class pretty much in the same room, sometimes at the same time. So you can imagine that it was a little too close for comfort. Although we were cozy, it did have its problems.
Yeah. Now, how many activities would you say that you have now? Like just,
oh gosh,
a guesstimate.
I'm going to say, I tried to count it up. Sometimes, like in the fall, we have a lot of classes. I have about 30 classes a month. I'm sorry, 30 classes a week. Different activities like different exercise classes, dance classes, art classes, ceramics, computers, jewelry making. So there's just so much that people want to do at the Senior Center, and part of my job is to provide those opportunities to our community.
Okay, so do you think the increase in just the diversity of backgrounds that you mentioned, do you think that is sort of added to how many different activities you have?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, you have different peoples and they want to do different types of things. And of course, computer classes is always something, as people don't want to be left behind, and they did not have that education in computers, you know, growing up or even in the earlier part of their adulthood. That they're embracing that, and that's really, really fun. I've got people in their 80s taking computer classes, and I give them a lot of credit because it's not an easy type of a skill to learn, but it's more about the Senior Center is staying active, because when you're active, you're healthy, and we have a lot of people who want to maintain their health or improve their health, and I've got some really wonderful success stories, how much weight people have lost, how one lady told me that one time she went to a family reunion And people at her family reunion didn't even recognize her because she started taking exercise classes, and it just changed her whole demeanor and look to a vibrant person. So that's just great to hear. I just thought I'd show you a picture of, this is one of the ladies who, she started down at St. John's Church. Her name's Virginia Robbins. Of course, she's not here today, but she is still an active member of our senior center. So she's the lone person surviving from the 1983 group, and she's taken a lot of different roles at the senior center. She's been secretary and done our newsletter till just recently. So I just like to mention Virginia because she's special in that way. And when I came to the North Carroll Senior Center at its other location, this is what it looked like. I was able to capture a rainbow over the center one morning, and you can kind of see it's just a nice brick building. I don't have any inside pictures, but that's where we were when I began the job. And then in 2006, we had moved into the North Carroll Plaza.
Okay. And this is where we are now.
And this is our current senior center, and it just looks like a plain old storefront. And when you walk, you say, oh, that's nice. It's great parking. I mean, the parking's terrific. And then black and white, it's kind of, you know, not terrifically eye-catching, but when you come in, it's like Dorothy going into the land of Oz, I always think of it, because you've got color, you've got this wonderful architectural design that brings a lot of light into the building. It's a very open feeling, a lot of windows in the interior. And this was a picture from our ribbon cutting back on July 14th, 2006, when that was our official opening date for our center. But we've grown to 24,500 square feet, so we have a lot more room to accommodate all kinds of senior activities, and as well as community groups at night when we're closed are able to use the senior center. I checked, and we have about 1,300 active participants. Even though they might just go on one trip a year, we still consider them participants, or they come every day currently, which I think is that's a lot of people that we have.
Compared to the church basement.
Yes, we have grown. And I kind of went through and I thought, well, 2006, when we started doing some record keeping here, it was over 20,000 people that attended from January through December. And then 2009, the total was 31,428. And I really think that's kind of low. We started a new tracking system, and before I was able to figure out some of the glitches, I think I deleted some people when I was trying to get things all, you know, all entered and such. I was like, oh, if you press this, it takes this number out, and didn't realize it till the next year. So the UPT system is a way of tracking that the county has. It's a touch screen, so we're getting people to be computer savvy, even if it's just using a touch screen when they come to the senior center and select their activities every day. So, but I'm very proud of the center. We have people that volunteer. I have over 80 people that volunteer monthly, and usually it's closer by the end of the year, 120 different people. And we recognize our volunteers in April with a nice dinner. We have a wonderful fundraising group called our Site Council, who raise money to have special meals and to provide equipment and different kind of, pay for different services that the county doesn't have a budget for. And without the volunteers, our senior center would not be nearly as thriving as it is today.
Now, with the volunteers, have you seen a change just in your volunteer group as well over the time that you've been here?
Not necessarily. I think I have a wider group of volunteers because I really do talk it up to people, and they're good at getting each other to volunteer. So we have a wide range. And I have one gal at the front desk that started in a job placement program, and when that ran out, and she still volunteers every day here. That's how much she liked it. So I'm very proud to have a place that people want to come.
Yeah, definitely. Now, are there any other changes in the county that you've seen in the senior center at all that you would want to talk about, or mostly just the fact that the development has been, that there's been more development in the area and people are less likely to be from farming backgrounds? Are there any other changes besides that you've seen?
Well, of course, the economy, you know, from the recent recession, I think has hurt a little bit for a while. Last year especially, people weren't taking as many trips, and I could see that. But I really we try to keep our prices low so that people can attend exercise classes. You could take a month worth of one exercise class for 3 months for $20. So, and if there's any kind of hardship, I do have a fund that we can help people with that. So a little bit of the recession for a while. We have free bread delivery. That's gone down a lot because the stores are a lot more careful about overproducing their bread. So we don't have as much to give away. So little things like that. And I do have people that really depend on that, you know, getting some free bread. And they take it home, they give it to their elderly neighbors or family members as well. So it's a good way to share with the community.
Okay, great. Are there any other history facts that you'd like to share about the community center, or even about just your experience as a Carroll County resident that you want to talk about?
I just think it's very special that we've had such great government support to make our senior centers a priority. Especially when I have people that come in from different counties in the state of Maryland or different areas of the country, even people who come to visit their family from overseas and they give them a tour, how much people say they can't believe what a wonderful big center we have here. And in a time where Baltimore City is closing senior centers, Cecil County has changed how they do centers, that they're actually, it's harder and harder to justify keeping public services, that the county has continued to support us. And just to say how fortunate we are in this community, and that we're not restricted to just people that live in Carroll County, that you can, because we do get some federal money and we all pay federal taxes, that we're open to people who live in other states, such as Pennsylvania, which is not very far and has a very underdeveloped senior center that I understand. So they come here because we have a lot more to offer. Other counties, people from Baltimore County, they come over too. I have people that come over from Frederick County to take part in some of the activities that they don't offer in their areas. So that makes me think that we're doing the right thing here.
Yeah.
And the seniors here in this area are very thankful to have the center. I have a wonderful group of friendly people who just are very thankful to have a place to come, and they're not demanding that, you know, you have to do this, that, and the other thing. You know, we offer it, they make suggestions. It's a lot of give and take, and I take the suggestions seriously, and I try to be a good listener and give them what they want. So.
Right, which keeps people
coming.
Probably helps word of mouth too, probably.
And in this job, it's taught me more than anything that word of mouth is the best advertisement. I like to put pictures in the paper because it's fun to show what we do, and people love to see themselves in the paper. And it's the word of mouth. They tell their friends tell their friends, and they come. I have some very wonderful instructors here that are just top notch, and that, of course, is a big draw as well, to have to provide quality programs. And the social atmosphere is important. I encourage our seniors to be welcoming, to be friendly, and to accept people as they are, so that everybody feels that they're a part of the center and that they are important, because we're all important, no matter where we're from,
right,
and what we look like. So,
now, do you think that a lot of people are actually from Carroll County that are here now, or have you seen an increase in people coming from other places?
Oh, yeah, definitely from other places.
Do you think it's because of the county itself, in addition to the center and its attributes, or just it was pretty scenic when I was coming up here? So
yes, it's a beautiful, beautiful place to live. And I think most people are following family out here. In this particular area, we don't have a lot of senior housing. We do have some, but it's not like there's a big senior development that attracts people to the North Carroll area. So most of the people that I get live independently, although some of them do live at some of the subsidized areas that we have in Hampstead, that give places, have affordable places for seniors who really have a limited income. And we do have some of those folks come as well. And it's great to have a good mix of people to share things with.
Okay, cool. And any, I guess, what would you hope for the future of the center?
I just hope to continue to be a priority with the commissioners and the government as time goes, because I can see what a difference it makes in people's lives. I have people say, I don't know what I'd do without the senior center. I don't know what I would have done after my husband died or my wife. And I know how important it is for people to have a place to go and to be with their friends and stay active, because as we're learning, preventative health activity is really important to keep people well out of assisted living, out of the nursing homes, and to be independent as long as they possibly can be. So I hope for continued government support.
Now do you have county and federal government support with this?
The county pays for the maintenance and upkeep of the building, and the staff, I have 3 staff, myself, an assistant manager and a custodian. They are paid by the county. And we do have budget from the federal government that has to do with the meal program, because we provide meals every day, which as a donation you can get a hot meal at 12 o'clock every day, well, Monday through Friday. And so we do have some money to keep that meal program going and some of the supplies that we need with that. So, and there's a state grant that comes along here and there. So we do have a state grant that we use for health programs as well. And a lot of the money is raised, again, by our volunteers. And there is no cost to join the senior center. We don't have any activity fees. Some senior centers for exercise equipment, because we do have an exercise equipment room, they charge a fee. Carroll County at this time does not. And our repairs are done by money we do fundraising. And luckily I do have that. I have a nice group. I keep saying that over and over again. But if anything, I see that maybe we'll have to institute some kind of a fee program maybe down the road. I hope not. I like it the way it is, and people are surprised. It doesn't cost anything, and it makes them very happy, so that's a good thing.
Have you seen any changes in the federal and county government attitudes toward programs that you have or anything, just in the time that you've been here, or has it been pretty consistent? It's
been pretty consistent, yes. We're funded by the Older Americans Act as far as our meals programs at the federal level, and they've been renewing that every year, so that's a good thing.
Okay, great. Now, I guess in closing, I usually, or with the last one that I had, I asked if you had any advice for people growing up, maybe in the county or anything like that. This wasn't a typical interview, but I want to give you the opportunity in case you want to say anything, for posterity or anything like that.
Well, I'm getting close to the age where I'm going to be able to think about taking some senior center activities if and when I retire. And there are, to stay active is just to pay attention to your health, take good care of yourself so that as you age, you can continue to be active and healthy. And that's just not physically, but emotionally happy, spiritually centered, and give attention to all the parts of your lives that are important. Don't get caught up in the things that what you think you need to have to be happy things, and concentrate on developing healthy relationships and taking good care of yourself so you can come one day and enjoy the senior center here. We have a 30-year lease, so we're going to be around for a while.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you want to add before I close
I
up?
think I'm
All
fine.
Right. Well,
thank you.
Thank you so much, Renee, for letting me have this interview and for bringing the pictures, which were
You're welcome.
great.